All right, promptly starting at the top of the hour, and I know some folks will be filtering in as I'm speaking. So everything that I'm saying, I will throw in the chat as well. So welcome to this virtual college fair to speak with these experts, our panelists. A few important things to note. They cannot see you and they cannot hear you. So if you have a question for them at any time during this 45-minute session, please use the Q&A button that's either at the top of your screen or the bottom of your screen, and they can type an answer or they can answer it live depending on where they're at in their presentation. So again, that Q&A button is very important if you have any questions at any time. Sign up for more sessions, the same place that you signed up for this one, a recording of the video, the audio, everything in the Q&A, everything in the chat will be available at strivescan.com/WACAC. I will put that in the chat for you. Very, very important, especially that chat. Please pay attention. Our expert panelists will be putting the most valuable information, which is how to contact them in that chat. So please make sure that you're keeping an eye there. All right, and with that, we are going to kick it off with Butler University.
All right, thank you very much. I'm going to share my screen.
Is there a way to turn your volume up just a smidge?
Is that any better?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Great.
All right. Cool. Okay. So hopefully you can see my screen there. All right. Well, thank you for joining us. My name is Tim C. I would be your admission counselor at Butler University. Butler is a small to mid-sized private liberal arts school just outside of downtown Indianapolis, which you can see in the distance there in this picture. So we're located just about 10 to 15 minutes north of the city. I mentioned we're a small to mid-sized school. What does that mean? You'll probably see us listed officially as a mid-sized school, but we're certainly on the smaller end of that spectrum. We are predominantly an undergraduate school. We've got some, I guess you could say, prominent graduate programs, but not a lot. So we are mostly an undergraduate school with another 500 grad students or so. I would say you certainly get a smaller school experience as far as the classrooms are concerned, in that we don't really have any larger lecture halls. We don't have any TAs on campus either. So certainly should expect for relatively small classrooms for your professors to know who you are, and things like that. I wish I had more time to talk more specifically about some of the academic programs that we offer. I will quickly say that particular strength in areas like business, performing arts, particularly for ballet, pharmacy, health sciences, but I think more generally speaking, what you find at Butler is a real emphasis in experiential learning. We were founded on two sort of guiding principles, one being that everyone deserves the right to an education, and the second being that experience is the best teacher. And to that end, all of the programs we have are going to have some kind of experiential learning opportunity tied into them. So internships is often a good example of that. For example, our business school requires 2 internships for all of its students. Sometimes it's studying abroad, sometimes it's a clinical rotation, sometimes it's service learning, service experience. We require some kind of service opportunity for all of our first-year students in Indianapolis. But again, it's learning by doing. It's getting those meaningful experiences on your resume. That is certainly at the core of what Butler is all about and trying to accomplish. The last 10 years, very recent history for Butler, has been an exciting time. Kicking off or starting with back-to-back Final Four appearances for our men's basketball team just about 10 years ago. After that, a lot changed on our campus. Our application numbers about tripled. We immediately became majority out of state, but our campus has grown and we've seen a lot of additions to campus. So just some exciting things to highlight as far as that's concerned. Campus expanded. We were able to put our College of Education into brand new facilities. We were able to put our Lacey School of Business into brand new facilities. Brand new lab spaces under construction right now for all of our undergrad sciences. And then not listed here, a couple of new dorms that went up in the last couple of years. new performing arts space, new restaurants on campus. So yeah, it's just been a really exciting time for Butler. And I really just have some pictures here. I want people to see what the campus looks like, because I do think it's part of what makes it special. We have a fairly large campus for a school of our population. And I think it's the size of campus, coupled with the athletics, Division I athletics in a major conference or in the Big East Conference, and then the proximity to the city. Those three things make Butler feel like a bigger school than it is. People are often surprised to learn that we are, quote, only 4,600 students. But it's an interesting combination. We feel like a bigger school than we are, certainly with campus life and school spirit, I would put in there as well. Plus, we have a cute mascot. That's the one takeaway I want everybody to have when I'm done talking. Cute mascot. That's the only reason that's in there. I won't spend a lot of time here. I want to be able to get to this application information, but I mentioned 2 new dorms. I'll show you the inside of a couple of them. They're almost all suite style, so you can see there's a bathroom in the unit there. That's one of our first year dorms. This is our sophomore dorm. So both of those went up within the last couple of years. And then, like I said, just some quick info about the application process with the rest of my time. These are good numbers from an admission and a scholarship perspective, good baseline numbers, but we do admit students directly into majors. So please know that things like pharmacy, health sciences, biology, chemistry, those tend to be our most competitive majors, but these are really good ranges to be in pretty much for everything that we offer. And then quickly, we are on the Common App. We do not have an app fee, regardless of method. We do super score for test scores. We do not require test scores either for admission nor for scholarships. So know that those are optional. And that will be the case permanently moving forward if you're a student getting a head start on your college search. And then beyond that, I'll just say November 1st, we operate on an early action timeline, not early decision, so it's not binding. But that is November 1st is the cutoff for some of our scholarships. That's really the biggest reason you would want to apply early. And then I'll just stall here for just a few seconds that I have remaining. And I'll put my contact information in the chat. But again, my name is Tim C. I would be the one to read your application. I'd be your admission counselor. So feel free to reach out if you have any questions about anything. Thanks so much.
All right, thank you. Next up, we have Earlham College.
Hi, everyone. My name is John Wolfgang. I'm the admissions counselor at Earlham who goofed and put chat info during Tim's presentation. I tried to put something I wrote down and hit enter, and it's how it always goes, it seems. But yeah, so I'm gonna, excuse me, share my not that screen, stop share. Share this screen, hopefully. Share. Yeah, there we go. I think I was sharing that initially and just got it messed up. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, Earlham is a small private liberal arts college. We're located in Richmond, Indiana. So when we say small, we mean it. We have about 800 students. So it's a really, really tight-knit community. We were originally founded in 1847 by Quakers. You don't have to be a Quaker to come to Earlham, but we found that it really has provided some consistency in how we operate over our 170 years of existence. We find it is really beneficial to not really be driven by the whims of the time and still just have something we can always lean on, right? So we do have a really unique, really representative population for those 800 students. 25% of our students are domestic students of color, another 23% are international students. That international student population is anywhere from #1 to top 5 in the nation amongst all liberal arts colleges in any given year. So you really are getting exposure to the outside world during your time at Earlham, not only just through kind of the opportunities we provide, but through the students you'll be interacting with. So these are some of our majors and minors, right? We also have things called applied minors, and applied minors are basically a minor credit load, but focused on a single subject, right? So we have one called anthrozoology, which is looking at human-animal relations, but you look at it from a lot of different lenses, right? Rather than kind of looking at a lot of different subjects through one frame of reference. So our most popular majors are going to be probably anything related to like a pre-med stuff, so biology, neuroscience, biochem, our med school placement rate is over double the national average. So that's a really popular program. The president of the National Pre-Med Advisors Association is an Earlham professor. So again, we provide really great education in that regard. But we have some more unique things as well, right? We have peace and global studies, again, really kind of based off that singular Quaker mindset of finding peaceful and finding just solutions to things. We have things like environmental sustainability. That's really helped by the fact that we have an 800-acre campus. So that's 1.25 square miles. So there's plenty of space to do practical biological field research on campus in, the wetlands and the fields and the prairies that we have available to our students. And yeah, so some of the other really popular ones are going to be Japanese studies and the Japanese language program. We offer a dual degree with Waseda University. We've had this relationship for a long time, so it really is established, and there's a lot of great ways students can kind of take advantage of that. Our classroom experience, I find, differentiates us even more than our academic offerings. The average class size is 13 students, and the student to faculty ratio is 9-to-1. And we're a college, right? So our grad students are in the Earlham School of Religion, and we have an education master's, but that means you aren't being led by PhD candidates. When you have a lab or a discussion section, it is led by the same professor who is teaching you in lecture, and that allows you to integrate knowledge and skills in a way that just isn't possible when you have two different people teaching in two different ways, right? And also, everyone on campus is on a first name basis. We don't believe in titles. We don't believe in honorifics. That comes from our Quaker belief system, but we found it's really beneficial just in an academic setting where you have a personal relationship with your professor, not only aided by the small, tight-knit community, but aided by the fact that you're calling them by your first name, right? So that really helps when it comes to getting good letters of recommendations, hearing about great opportunities available to students. We also have something called the Earlham Advantage. So the Earlham Advantage is a guaranteed funded internship or research opportunity for every student during their time on campus, up to $5,000. We have career coaches available as well to make sure that you really get the most out of that money, right? We aren't just going to throw you to the wolves and have you figure out what you want to do. We'll help you get it budgeted out. We'll help make whatever you want a reality. We also offer a variety of off-campus and study abroad programs. Every one of the ones that is Earlham run, it's upwards of 15 different programs that Earlham runs, is entirely Earlham run, entirely Earlham taught, and entirely included within your tuition for the semester or year that you are studying abroad, right? We really do want to make sure that any student who finds that a key part of their education would be found outside the campus can take advantage of that. As far as student life, over 60 student-led clubs and organizations. So some of the really big ones are going to be a lot of the rec league stuff that we have, because athletics in general is a pretty big thing on campus. We have a popular equestrian program that a lot of students like to get involved with during their time on campus, because we have a horse barn, again, in our 800 acres. A lot of service organizations. So if you're really into kind of giving back to the community, you'll find a lot of fellow students on campus who are interested in doing stuff like that, whether it's through the LGBTQ+ organization that we have, or kind of the health club, whatever it might be. Athletics, 17 men's and women's D3 teams. We don't offer scholarships because we're D3, but that also means we don't place unreasonable expectations on our student athletes. They're able to fully integrate themselves into the campus community because they have time outside of practicing, right? So you know these people, you see them in classes, you see them in other clubs that you have. When you go and watch the team, you aren't supporting the Quakers, you're supporting your friends. And that really does make a difference in having a healthy, united culture around sports on campus. And then as far as res life, we're a 4-year residential college. You're guaranteed housing all 4 years. So you don't have to worry about trying to find a place in your senior year once we guarantee all the housing for freshmen. All our housing costs the same, whether it's a single, whether it's a double, whether it's suite style, whether it's quad style, whether it's in our interest housing that we have, which is apartment style living. Anything that fits you is going to be within your price range. As far as admissions, we take the Common App, we take the Earlham application, pretty standard in terms of what the application actually entails. We are test optional. We're test optional during the pandemic. We're test optional outside the pandemic. Again, we have the opportunity to provide holistics admissions decisions because we're such a small campus. We offer merit scholarships guaranteed anywhere from $20,000 to $30,000 a year for 4 years. And as far as need-based aid, we're really well positioned to offer a large amount of financial aid to our students. In terms of endowment per the number of students we have, we're richer than 2 Ivy League institutions. So our students really are getting the best of both worlds, that small community and the large support structure. If you want to get in touch with me, you can feel free to either reach out to me at my email, at my phone, or contact the admissions office at large. But thanks for listening and have a great night.
All right, thank you so much. Next up, we have Indiana University.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for coming today. Let me go ahead and share my presentation with you. All right, so we are Indiana University. I am Stephanie Miller, Senior Assistant Director with the Office of Admissions based on the West Coast. Very happy to be bringing our campus to you this evening. We're located in Bloomington, Indiana, which is about 45 minutes southwest of downtown Indianapolis and about an hour from the airport, give or take. So pretty easy to get to and from campus. We are a large institution with over 33,000 students coming from over 140 different countries in all 50 states. We're actually about 45% out of state and 10% international in our population. So pretty diverse for a large public institution. And we certainly pride ourselves on that diversity as well. As far as what we have to offer our students, pretty much the hallmark of an IU education is our flexibility of curriculum as well as our vast array of offerings. So over 200 different majors to choose from, over 300 different programs, including our minors and certificates. So certainly a lot of area to explore, and we give you that freedom and that flexibility to explore built into our curriculum. So with the exception of our performance-based, highly intensive conservatory style programs, all of our other programs have a great deal of flexibility built in. So the majority of our students are actually graduating with more than just a single major. They're double majoring, they're major minoring, sometimes even triple majoring, which I think is a little bit crazy, but apparently it can be done. Some of our most well-known programs include our Kelly School of Business, which really sets up our students well for success. Lots of great personal relationships built in that program between students and professors as well. Around 93% of our Kelly grads have a job offer or are accepted into a graduate program within 3 months of graduation. So that kind of speaks for itself as far as the preparation and the connections that our students will receive within that program. And then we are also very well known for our Jacobs School of Music, which is a highly intensive conservatory style program within the larger university as a whole. So it's a really great fit for students who want a little bit of the best of both worlds, want to experience a conservatory style program while also being at a large school and all the benefits that go along with that, with additional social and academic opportunities. Jacobs School alone hosts over 1,100 performances on our campus throughout an academic year. So we have a world-class arts and culture scene on our campus for our students to take advantage of as well. Speaking of what to do on campus, there's certainly no shortage of things to do or get involved in. That's one of the benefits of being at a larger university. So we have over 750 different clubs and organizations represented on our campus, over 60 different religious and cultural organizations as well. We also have our Big Ten athletics, so our students are very passionate, particularly about basketball. Our assembly hall actually has the largest student section in the nation, so it's a really exciting thing to go to a basketball game. Football is definitely a big deal as well, but we're well known in many of our programs, including swimming and diving, track and field. So lots of opportunities to cheer on our Hoosiers. And as I mentioned, our world-class arts and culture scene with over 1,500 performances on our campus in total, many of them held within our IU auditorium that seats over 3,000 people. We also are very much a residential community. So we have lots of different options for students to live on campus. We do guarantee housing for all 4 years. One of our unique opportunities is called our Living and Learning Communities, or LLCs for short. We have over 20 options for students to choose from to live and take classes with some students that have like-minded interests. So we have a Kelly School of Business LLC, we have a Women in Science and Math and Technology LLC, we have our Civic Leaders LLC, Health and Wellness, so lots of different options to connect with students in a unique way through the LLC program. And you can do all of these things on our amazingly gorgeous college campus. I know I'm a little bit biased, but it is certainly a beautiful place to be. And we are located in a quintessential college town called Bloomington. So Bloomington itself has about 80,000 people without the addition of the student body. So it's a pretty sizable town in its own right and has a lot to offer in the way of shops and restaurants. We are actually second to New York City as far as the number of ethnic restaurants per capita in the nation. So if you're worried about missing out on some good food when you go off to college, I can promise you, you won't be disappointed if you land in Bloomington. Let's talk a little bit about how you join our community by applying to IU. We do encourage students to apply by our November 1st early action non-binding deadline. This is our priority deadline for merit scholarship consideration, and then as well as any of our programs that offer direct admission, such as the Kelley School of Business or our performance-based programs. If you do apply by November 1st, you'll hear back from us by January 15th at the latest. We have a regular decision deadline of February 1st, and you'll hear back from us by March 15th. And after February 1, we roll over onto a case-by-case basis. We do accept the common application as well as our apply IU application. So either option, whichever meets your needs and best fits your situation at the time, we will certainly accept your application either way. And we are a test optional institution. We planned to move test optional before COVID, and so that will be a permanent decision for us. So encourage you to consider applying to Indiana this fall. If you have any questions, please feel to connect with me. I'll drop my information in the chat. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Next up, we have St. Mary's College.
Good evening, everyone. Give me just a quick second to get everything up and running. Wonderful. My name is Alex. I've been at St. Mary's College. This is actually my 7th year. And thankfully, I've had California as part of my territory for all 7 of those years. So it's been great. I certainly miss you folks out there. I'm excited to hopefully someday, perhaps this fall, get back out to you. California is one of our largest groups of students coming to St. Mary's. Like I said, I'm excited to hopefully get back out there soon. St. Mary's, we're a smaller campus environment, about 1,600 students. About 2/3 of our students do come from outside of Indiana, so very much an out-of-state institution. We are a smaller campus environment. We are a Catholic school, as the name suggests. We are also a women's college, so definitely some wonderful and unique characteristics for us at St. Mary's. We're really excited that about 20% of our students come from underrepresented populations, and just over 1/4 of our students are first-gen students at St. Mary's. So if you are the first in your family to go to college, you will be in a good company at St. Mary's College. I really hit on this idea of students coming from all over the place to come to St. Mary's pretty hard, because I think it definitely really gives a good feel for what the campus environment is like. You're truly just as likely to meet someone from Los Angeles as you are from Cleveland, Ohio. We've got lots of students from Texas and Florida, but also Nebraska and Iowa and everywhere in between. So I think that's really, really exciting. Students are bringing different interests to St. Mary's, different beliefs, and different backgrounds to St. Mary's College. We're located in Notre Dame, Indiana. Where is Notre Dame, Indiana? I get that question asked often. We're about 90 miles outside Chicago, about 150 north of Butler and Indianapolis. We've got a lot of things going on in our area, very much centrally located in the Midwest. We've got a great national park about 41 miles away. You actually can surf on Lake Michigan. We are expecting snow here in Indiana this week, so may want to use a wetsuit at this point. But very easy to get here. We have our own international airport right here in the greater South Bend area, which is our larger metropolitan area. Very easy and simple to get to and from the airport. Lyft, Uber services to get in and out of the airport. You also can take daily rail into Chicago as well. And the city of South Bend, kind of our larger metropolitan area where we're located, a little over 300,000 people in the surrounding area. Plenty to do, plenty going on, lots of activities, but a small enough area where there is no traffic, there is no parking problems or anything like that. So pretty straightforward. From an academic standpoint, as a smaller campus environment, really small class sizes starting from day one. That's one of the reasons why students come to St. Mary's. They also come for that individualized experience and very much flexible academic environment. You don't need to declare a major till the end of your sophomore year. So you have lots of time to get to St. Mary's and make sure that nursing, education, businesses, those pre-health majors that you're excited about, that is in fact where you want to end up from an academic standpoint and from a professional standpoint. So again, very much flexible from an academic standpoint. We also have a lot of students that plug and play different major minor combinations, whether it's for professional reasons, you want a different tool belt built for your specific goal after you leave St. Mary's, or if it's just for fun. We have a lot of nursing majors that have a dance minor. We have a lot of business majors that have an art minor, just because they have a career preparation, but also a personal passion that they want to follow as well. So again, that academic excellence, that flexibility is really important. Are our students getting jobs? Absolutely. Are our students going to graduate school? Absolutely. And where are they getting jobs and going to grad school? Everywhere. I mentioned that our students come from all over the place. We have a really strong alumni group in LA, really strong alumni group in DC, Atlanta, throughout the Midwest, of course, a really strong alumni group throughout the United States, because that's where our students come from. So as much as I'd love it if they stayed right here in the Hoosier State, they do oftentimes head back to their native hometowns or go somewhere else and adopt a new hometown after they leave St. Mary's. We are part of a larger campus environment as well. We are proud to be our own institution at St. Mary's. And there are students, of course, that are very much excited about the women's college and very much excited about the small school environment. But if you're excited about football, if you're excited about marching band and kind of those big university pieces, the University of Notre Dame is right across the street from us. And Holy Cross College is immediately to our south as well. So kind of this larger 3 campuses that you have the opportunity to enjoy academically and outside the classroom. A lot going on from a faith standpoint on our campus. The Catholic Mass, while not required, is offered on a daily basis. A lot of great opportunities to engage in your faith, engage in service. We're D3, NCAA athletics, and study abroad. This top picture that you see over here, those are some bells in Ireland. Over half our students do study abroad. So again, if study abroad is something that you're excited about, maybe you don't know where just yet, but you know you want to go, we can be a great landing place. As again, over half our students do study abroad at St. Mary's. We're on the Common App. We're a free application. We are test optional and very much a holistic review process, not just a test score, not just a GPA, really looking at a little bit of everything. We have a really strong writing curriculum at St. Mary's, so that essay is going to be an important piece, but we do look at a little bit of everything. 100% of our students, all of our students are getting some type of financial aid coming to St. Mary's. You also are going to graduate in 4 years. We guarantee that you're going to graduate in 4 years. None of our programs are waitlisted. None of our programs are impacted. Business, nursing, accounting, theater, all of those, you will graduate in 4 years, which I think is really exciting. Some great ways to stay engaged with us. I would touch base with our virtual tours because we do have virtual tours for you California folks. We also are open for in-person tours if you're making a trip out this summer. Thanks so much, everyone.
All right, thank you. Next up, we have Lawrence University.
Hi, everybody. My name is Brianna Barkin, and I am an Associate Director of Admissions at Lawrence University. And I am based here in Los Angeles, California. So I do work with all of our West Coast students. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We are a small private liberal arts college, part of the Colleges That Change Lives Consortium. And we do have both a College of Liberal Arts and Sciences and a Conservatory of Music on campus. About a quarter of our students are pursuing a music degree, and about half of those students are actually pursuing a 5-year double degree program. So they will earn both a bachelor's of music and a bachelor's of arts in just 5 years. We are a very traditional college residential campus. It is required to live on campus for all 4 years, and none of our residence halls are first-year student only. So all of our residence halls have first, second, third, and fourth-year students in them. We have 1,500 students on campus, and our average class size is only 15 students. Our faculty to student ratio is only 8-to-1, which is one of the smallest in the country. And actually, 60% of our classes are taught one-on-one. So a lot of those are, of course, music lesson classes, but we do also have an opportunity where you can do an independent study with a professor any term that you're at Lawrence. And most students do complete at least one of those at least one during their 4 years at Lawrence. All of our students do participate in first year studies. We are rebranding freshman studies to first year studies. And it is every Laurentian for the last several decades has participated in freshman studies, first year studies. And it is a crash course to both the liberal arts and being a student at Lawrence. You have a unit in jazz music, a unit in philosophy, a unit in poetry. And then at the end of the unit, the entire first year class will get together for a culminating experience. But you'll go through the class with the same 15 students for your first and second term at Lawrence. We have a lot going on campus. We do not have any graduate students on campus, so our undergrads do get involved in research right away. Our most popular major on campus is actually biology, and last year we did have a 100% placement rate into medical school for students who met the med school average. Overall, we do have a 99% placement rate into graduate school or job placement within 6 months of graduation. We have Division III athletics on campus in addition to music. There is a robust city in downtown Appleton. It is right across the street from where I'm sitting right now. And it's about a mile of restaurants and shops and anything you could need. We have an airport 6 miles away from campus. It's very easy to get there. And in our downtown, we do also have a performing arts center that gets a full Broadway season every year. 2 years ago, Hamilton was in town and our students got tickets for only $25. And I was pretty jealous because I couldn't get a ticket at all. But I would love to have seen Hamilton live. That's just one of the big city amenities in the small city of Appleton. There are about 75,000 people that live in Appleton and 250,000 people that live in our metro area. That does include Green Bay. So there are a lot of Packer fans in the area. We do have 3 campuses. The one that we're talking about in Appleton, the one on the screen is in Bjork, London, which is a retreat center on Lake Michigan. And this is where students go on the weekend. They go about 1 weekend per term, either with a class, a club, a music ensemble, a sports team, anything like that, to really disconnect from the world and connect with each other. There is no cell service here, so we just make sure you tell your parents before you go. Otherwise, we do get some worried calls because your parents don't know where you are. Our 3rd campus is in London, England. It is the easiest way to study abroad, but certainly not the only way to study abroad. Our students do go all over the world, but our center in London is on our academic calendar, our credits, our tuition, all of that. So it is very, very seamless to study abroad in London if you want to. So after you are a student at Lawrence, I mentioned already 99% of our students are placed in graduate school or working within 6 months of graduation. Applying to Lawrence is pretty easy. We are on the Common App and we do have our own app as well. We do require your high school transcript, a school report, which includes your counselor letter of recommendation, teacher letter of recommendation. We've been test optional for almost 20 years, so don't worry about it this year, especially if you haven't taken it or can't take it or don't want to take it. Any of that stuff, it will not impact your admission or financial aid at Lawrence. We do also recommend an interview. Most of you would interview with me, and that would be so exciting. Hopefully next year we'll get to do some in person. But this year we are doing them all via Zoom, and no matter what, we do offer them via Zoom. If you're applying to the music conservatory, we also require an audition, a music teacher evaluation, and a music resume. And then you might interview with me or with one of our music, not faculty, our music admissions representatives. We offer a lot of financial aid, both merit and need-based. We met an $85 million fundraising goal last summer to be an institution that meets full demonstrated need. So I've learned a little bit about money, and that can't all be implemented right now, but we do the best we can for every student. We do want Lawrence to be an affordable option for any student who wants to be a Laurentian. On the screen, you can see our various application deadlines and terms here. Important to know, if you're planning to apply to one of our music performance majors, you cannot apply early action 2 because that does not align with the music faculty review of auditions. So that's the only thing really to know here. And I just talked really fast, and I think that is it for me, and I will pass it on.
All right. Thank you. Next up, we have Northland College.
Awesome. Hi, everybody. I'm Abigail, and I'm an admissions counselor and also a graduate from Northland. And I'm from Arizona myself, so I know what it's like to be looking at schools a bit further away from home. So thanks for being here to hear about Northland. So Northland is in Ashland, Wisconsin, and it's right next to Lake Superior, which is the biggest lake in the world by surface area. So it's a pretty integral part of the Northland experience to be living up here. So I really thought I'd mention that first. And the small city of Ashland that you can see here is also surrounded by over 1 million acres of national forests and public lands and parks. So these living laboratories definitely make Northland a really great place for environmental scientists and nature enthusiasts. Other things to note about Northland: we've been around for a while, about 129 years, and we have a student body of about 600 students from all over the country. And our class sizes are small, about 15 students, but certainly not unheard of to have classes that are even 4 or 5 people, including the professor, especially your junior, senior year. So no getting away with sleeping in the back of the class, of course. And then we all know that there's a number of challenges facing the world today: climate change, habitat loss, floods, the list could go on and on. And so at Northland, students are learning these real world ways to kind of tackle these problems and become leaders. And being an environmentalist doesn't necessarily have to mean being knee deep in a river for class or work, but it totally can if that's really what's important to you. So from writing to business or biology and natural resources, all students get to use the skills and passions they have to make the world a better place. And as a liberal arts school, this kind of multidisciplinary approach to education makes our students really well-rounded individuals and prepared for these challenges of the present and of course the future. So here's a look at our academic programs. Students get 3 semesters to declare a major, so you definitely don't have to come with one picked out right away. But some of our most common programs that students are drawn to are sustainable community development, natural resources, which includes forestry, ecological restoration, and fisheries and wildlife ecology, and then some other majors that are popular, other education and climate science. We also have Division III athletics for those who are interested in being a student athlete, and I know some other presenters touched on kind of the benefits of Division III, so I don't think I need to kind of go over that again. And then in addition to regular classes, which can range from lab and field days or traditional lectures, we also have a few unique ways of learning at Northland. So May term is a month-long immersive class full of really cool opportunities. You just take one class for the entire month and you're in class for a few hours every day. So there's usually not any homework, which is really nice. But it can be pretty intense, you know, like getting up at 5 a.m. for field ornithology, like this photo, to go birding and see kind of the birds migrate over Lake Superior. And I've taken that class, and although it is early, it's certainly worth it to kind of have those cool birds. Yeah, are just awesome. Or, you know, you could take a class learning how to whitewater canoe in Maine, or more traditional, like a May term on something like Shakespeare. And then our location really just does underwrite almost everything we do. And central to our sense of place is Lake Superior, just about 10 blocks from campus. So as the largest lake in the world, it's so big, it even kind of creates its own weather patterns. So we get lots of snow because of it, I'm sure, as you saw in the previous photos. So Northland's really great for those who love or really want to learn some winter activities like skiing, snowboarding, or ice fishing. I learned all these things brand new when I came to Northland, and it's quite the experience to have your first really, really cold winter. But it's also really great for academics. So a lot of our classes are utilizing the natural resources and abundant biodiversity of the area. So plenty of ways classes are getting outside to go on hikes and see some really neat things kind of firsthand in the Northwoods here. And like I said before, we've got about 600 students, but there's a really rich culture of people and community here. So we have big communal areas outside that are full of slack lines and hammocks and frisbee games in the warmer months. And in the winter, lots of snowmen and cross-country ski trails, an ice rink, and Quincy's students can camp in, which is a Canadian igloo, if you didn't know. And in this photo, students are making apple cider from apples they harvested at a local orchard, all during their English class about food and agriculture. So classes are going on field trips pretty often, getting to volunteer, professionals in their field, and getting that hands-on experience that makes learning a lot of fun. And environmental careers are in demand, and the fields definitely keep expanding. So from working in the forests, the fields, the rivers, classrooms, or even large corporate offices, sustainable work is needed just about everywhere you'll go. So whether you're going for a job right out of college or onto grad school first, our students have awesome like internships, research, you know, with published papers as co-authors with professors, and they're just generally well-rounded individuals, and it definitely sets them apart. So that's kind of it. I know I didn't touch on the application process, but it's super straightforward and easy at Northland. It's free to apply. We don't really have any deadlines. So I'm just hoping you'll get in touch with me if you can kind of see yourself in a place like Northland. And I'll put my kind of information in the chat so you can reach out. Awesome. Well, thanks so much, everybody.
All right, thank you. If I could have all the panelists come back on screen. In the same order that you presented, if you could answer for us, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process, starting with Butler University?
Plenty of advice to give. I'd say just really generally speaking, there's a lot of schools. Don't be afraid to look at schools that you've never heard of before. It's really cool. I'm from Indiana, went to school at actually Indiana University. So I didn't necessarily look that far, but working with students from California, naturally I'm working with students who are looking out of state. So kudos to you if that's you. But yeah, don't be afraid to look at schools you've never heard of before.
So I'm going to steal one from a previous 6x6 I did. And it's really pragmatic. Just make a separate email for all your college stuff so that it has like a specific place to go. Nothing's going to get caught in your high school's filters or something like that. Sometimes schools just randomly lock you out of your email for no good reason when they change things. So it's really good for you to have kind of your own home base for everything related to your college search process.
So my advice typically is to get boots on the ground and go out and visit different college campuses to see what your best fit is. And right now with COVID restrictions, that it makes it a little bit more difficult. But I would still say, especially if you're on the West Coast, there are so many colleges and universities that should theoretically be in your own backyard, right? So as we start to venture back out into the world again, maybe go out and walk around a little bit at some of the colleges that might be close to you and try to visit a couple different options, right? Maybe visit a smaller liberal arts college and a larger public university, kind of to get a feel for what you like and don't like. Don't be afraid to ask questions of students or staff members on campus that you see, and then try to extrapolate that to some schools that might be further away that you're not able to get to, but to kind of utilize that as a starting point for your college search process.
Yeah, great advice. I agree with visiting in person or virtually. I think two quick things. One is start a binder, take some notes. All the bricks and ivy start to look similar really quick. So start a binder with your materials that you're getting that you like, take some notes. The other thing I suggest to students is kind of really be true to yourself. Don't just pick somewhere because you like the mascot or you like the colors or that's the popular school where your friends are going. Really think, where am I going to be happy and where am I going to be successful?
So my colleagues have given you guys lots of great advice. I would echo everything they have already said, and just be really honest with yourself and honest with your parents, and make sure you're on the same page. Listen to your college counselors; they're good, and just try not to stress too much. We're trying to be as transparent as possible through this process, and we are trying to do right by you. So just work with us. This year is going to be a lot of change, and we're going to move forward together.
Then I would also echo what everyone has said, mainly just visiting campus if you can, make the time, take some days off of school, get on campus and experience it firsthand. Most students, when they visit, can describe the feeling of being on the campus of the school they chose, and they just know that this place, is for me. And you want to kind of find that feeling for the school that you're going to choose. And it's a fun excuse to travel and see new things.
All right, all awesome advice from our experts. And I always want to echo this. I say this at the beginning, but reach out to these folks because this is what they do. They do want to make sure that you're going to find the right fit for you. They are not going to steer you wrong. So reach out to these folks. If you missed any part of this, I did put the information in the chat, how to get to the recording and how to get to any of that chat information that you may need. When you leave here, there is a quick survey. You can sign up for more sessions in the same place. And thank you so much for either being here live or watching this recording, because this is so incredibly important. This is your future. So thank you again to our experts, and thank you to everyone out there watching, and have a good day.